Hello students, today we are discussing a little bit complicated molecule in which there are more than one functional groups. Now look at the molecule here. I have labeled this molecule as a target molecule. Now whenever we discuss retrosynthesis of any complicated molecule, what we have to do first? We have to observe the molecule or we have to read the molecule properly. Now in this case here, if you read the molecule, what you observe? Now after observation, you can see that there are two ether groups which are present. So this is the first ether group and this is your another ether group. And this secondary amine is the another functional group which is present over here. And here you can see that there are three phenyl groups. But this middle one where the two functional groups are attached, this phenyl group or phenyl ring plays an important role in this retrosynthetic analysis. So we are not considering this two phenyl groups, but the central one we are considering over here. Now, when we read the molecule, what we observe? We observe two ether groups. We observe one secondary amine and the one phenyl ring which is present over here. Now let us carry out the retrosynthetic analysis of this molecule. I have already labeled this molecule as a target molecule. So dear students, one thing you must remember whenever you carry out retrosynthetic analysis, two things always remember, that the first thing is the analysis which must go in the reverse direction of the target molecule, and then the whatever plan you have done on the paper, that plan should be verified or checked by carrying out the synthesis of that molecule. So the part 1 has this analysis part and the part 2 will be a synthesis of the molecule. Now let us go with the target molecule. Now here I have already drawn this molecule and you can see that there are various disconnections I have put over here. Now I just wanted to explain over here that whenever there are more functional groups, so what you have to remember, you have to find out which functional group is more reactive, which one is the most reactive one. Now here we know that the oxygen is more electronegative than the nitrogen. Therefore, the nitrogen is more reactive one. All right. Now again we are considering the CS disconnection over here where X is equal to oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur. Now with this condition, let us focus how many centers are available for the disconnection. Now here I have already labeled the various centers of disconnection over here. Let us see one by one again. So here this is first disconnection, that is A path. Then this is a second disconnection, this is a third disconnection, and this is a fourth disconnection you can see over here. Now I have drawn four different pathways, that is a A pathway, B pathway, C pathway and the D pathway. Now in this case, as we know that nitrogen is more reactive than the oxygen, so which rule we have to follow? This condition we have already discussed in the earlier reactions or earlier examples. Now select that functional group which is more reactive. So obviously the functional group which contains nitrogen is a more reactive, the most reactive group. Now here we have to disconnect that functional group which containing the nitrogen. Now here there is no question of carrying out a disconnection having CO groups. So we discard these two possibilities and let us consider these two possibilities where C and D. So B and C are discarded. These two possibilities are discarded. Then let us consider C and D. Again, which disconnection we have to follow? Now my answer is I am going to follow the path C. Why? The reason behind that is chemoselectivity. Now I am going to prepare a separate video on the chemoselectivity, regioselectivity and the stereoselectivity. But time being, let us consider the reason of chemoselectivity. Why I am going to select the path C? The reason is chemoselectivity. What is the meaning of chemoselectivity? The meaning is if a molecule possesses more reactive groups. So you can see that how many reactive groups are present. Here if you disconnect this, you will get OH over here. If you disconnect here, again OH over here. So if molecule possesses more reactive groups, then in such cases those reactive groups there will be a competition between these two functional groups which are more and more reactive. So naturally the incoming reagent will react to the more reactive group. All right. Now in this case we know that NH is the nitrogen is more reactive than the oxygen. So whatever alkylation we have showing over here, it will go over here first. All right. So there is a problem of chemoselectivity arises always in the case of amine groups are present in the molecule. So the first thing is we have to disconnect the NH group first from the molecule, then the alkylation will be possible at the OH center. So that's why I am going to disconnect this C path. So I am disconnecting this C path. So again the D path is dismissed. So I am not considering a D path, I am considering a C path. And why I have put cut over here, that is I have opted path C. The reason I have just discussed with you that if we see that this fragment possesses a positive charge and this fragment possesses a negative charge, as we know that the nitrogen is more electronegative than the carbon. All right, so that's why we have put a negative charge on the nitrogen and the positive charge on the carbon atom. Now let us see the synthons. These are the synthons we have already cut the C fragment. We have opted this path C and we got these two synthons. Now let us see the synthetic equivalents which are getting for these synthons. Now these are the two synthetic equivalents. So to neutralize this positive charge, I have put just Br over here and here the NH2 phenyl group. That is again a amino group over here. Now just remember the definition of retrosynthesis, that we have to disconnect the target molecule into the simpler fragments. Now here you can see that again we have two more functional groups we can see over here. Now again I am considering this as a target material again, and I can put the observation once more. Okay, now how many functional groups which are present over here? Again here there are two ether groups and one phenyl group. There are two ether groups and the one phenyl ring is there. That phenyl ring, which is a central one, I am considering, because in the previous molecule also we have considered only this central one. So this central ring is participating in the retrosynthesis. Now let us carry out the retrosynthetic analysis. Again, I
I am putting the CX disconnection over here. Now here the question arises that both the connections are CO connection. Both the connections are CO connections. So where do I put cut over here? Now let us see which cut is possible over here. Now as I told you that I am not going to cut the put cut over here because we know that the intermediate with the positive charge is not possible in the phenyl ring. So this option is we cannot consider. Now let us see the another option over here. So here there is a little bit I have to put over here. Okay, so this is a CH2 and phenyl ring. Let us refer the molecule. All right. And where do I put the cut? Whether I put the cut over here or I should put the cut over here. So I can see that up to this level we have A, B, C and D. Now let us consider these two paths are E, A, B, C, D, E and F. Now which path is a feasible path? Now the answer is I can cut the molecule over here. So I will opt the F disconnection. So path F is here the favorable path. So if we compare these two disconnections like this CO and this CO, okay, this CO and this CO. So this center is more reactive because of the Br group which is present over here. So let us see the synthons now. So we have a F disconnection over here. Now let us see the synthons. Now here you have this synthon. Plus CH2 Br. Now these are the synthons. Now let us derive the synthetic equivalence. Let us derive the synthetic equivalence. Now we'll have a synthetic equivalence. So just putting OH will give you a synthetic equivalent. Now again here it requires one more disconnection because again there is one more functional group which is present over here and another functional group is OH. So let us simplify this molecule once again. Now here I can put a disconnection over here. So this is a disconnection. So let us see with the E disconnection. Now with the E disconnection I can get the molecule which is more and more simpler. So this is OH and this is minus charge over here, and here you will get a phenyl. Now let us see the synthetic equivalence of both the molecules. Now here just putting H, you can have the OH, and here you can put a Br. Now these are the synthetic equivalents. Now till now we have finished the analysis part of the molecule. Now let us revise the analysis part once again. Now here this is a target molecule which has two ether groups and one secondary amine and one phenyl group. All right. Now we have conducted the analysis part. Analysis part is the first part and the synthesis part is the another part. Now here, as I told you that we have considered this molecule in such a way that we have to here we have to find out the most reactive site over here. Here we know that the nitrogen is most reactive, so we have selected this site for the first disconnection. Now here we opted a C path, and because of the chemoselectivity issue we have selected C path. All right, then by considering C path we obtained these two fragments over here. This is a positive. Why we put positive charge over here? Because we know that nitrogen is more electronegative than the carbon, so nitrogen will possess a minus charge and the carbon will have a positive charge. Then we have discussed the chemical equivalents over here. So here just putting Br at the another end, and here NH2 will give you the synthetic equivalents. Now here again, once again we have to simplify this fragment into the simple oxygen, and you will get the CH2CH2Br, which is a carbocation. And again then we have derived the synthetic equivalents of this xanthanes. Again we have seen that one more group which is attached to the oxygen, that is the this is the alkylated group over here. So benzyl group has been attached over here. So again we have to remove this group by disconnection method. So we have removed this group and we get the simpler one. So here the this is a starting material, we can say that this is a now here let us verify whether our analysis part is completely perfect, or we are in a right path or not. That can be verified or cross checked by the synthesis of the molecule. Now let us carry out the synthesis of the molecule. Let us carry out the synthesis part. Now with this we have to select the starting material, and then we can start the synthesis of the molecule. Starting material first. So I can take starting material as it is. Then I'll take the benzyl chloride as another reagent. So this is a CH2Cl. So this part will be now benzylated over here. So both OH are equivalent to it. So we can consider any OH over here. So this OH is now this part is now protected over here. The benzylation of OH takes place over here. Now let us focus on this particular center where we have to put the alkylation at this center. For the alkylation, again what we obtained in the in our retrosynthesis, this is a diabromoethane. So we are using a diabromoethane as a alkylating agent. So here I am getting the alkylation of another OH group. So this is first OH, which is benzylated over here, and this is another OH, which is now this is alkylated portion with the another terminal is having Br, which is very important over here because we need to put the NH group over here. Now to put NH group over here, let us see which molecule I should be using for the amination. So CH2 NH2. Now let us see the how the molecule has been designed and synthesized over here. So this part is already done with the benzylation, and this part will be now at this center we have to put NH over here, and this CH2 comes here, and this phenyl part is this one. So this is your target molecule. Now let us verify whether the synthesized molecule is same or it is different. So let us compare these two molecules. This is a target molecule we have obtained from the synthesis. So the starting material is 2 hydroxy group at the para position with each other. This is a derivative of phenol. And this is your target material. So I can say that in this way we have obtained 2 ether group, 1 secondary amine, and 2 phenyl at the ends, and this is your core moiety of the phenyl ring. So this is how you can synthesize. Now whenever you carry out the synthesis part, so you have to consider the reagents which see here I have used these 2 reagents over here as a starting material. So you can get the clue from the design, whatever part you have designing over here on the paper. So you will get a clue with what types of reagents you are going to use in this synthesis of the molecule. In the analysis part you can cross check it, and you can obtain the various reagents, and accordingly you can carry out the synthesis of the target material. So I hope you understand this molecule, and in the next lecture I am going to explain the order of events. Thank you so much, dear students.